YouTube's coming on. Again, this is MS Live. It's a group support. I'm your host, Dulci Hill, and you guys support each other there. Uh, Good morning, everybody on YouTube, and I'm nothing more of a host there, and we've got 60 people now in our group support combined there. I noticed that 900 people watched our interaction on Tuesday. So today it is it keeps timing out. I don't know why. It's the atmosphere then, but I've got an extender, and this is not supposed to be timing out there. So I definitely want to tell you about that. Now, MS Frontiers is .org is a group you can go to. It's a website you can go to. Hi, Jane from Coeur d'Alene. I just love that you're here. I'm gonna welcome the people with MS who are regulars, like Sherry. Sherry's got her own YouTube channel, and that is, I can count on you being here. Karen's here too. Karen's in the house, and so is Michelle. And it's interesting because I get to look down and see Karen's in Pennsylvania, and Michelle, I don't have any information on you there. So, Michelle, if you can give me your name and where you live, how old you are, and the medication you're on, I would love that there. I'm going to be reading a lot of what is going on over on YouTube there, so that Facebook you can try. Now, Sherry, that's outstanding. Facebook is timing out. It is. It's time because I don't have a good connection on. I don't know why. You know what? And I should. Let me see if all right. Stand by, you Facebook people. All right. I want to see. Yeah. I there's no reason because I have satellite. I don't know. The powers to be do not want Facebook to have a nice stream there. Oh, you jumped. Sherry jumped over here. Nadine, Jersey's in the house there. Nadine, not mentioning me. Jersey Devil is in the house there. You know what? That is, I don't understand. Maybe everybody's on Facebook, and that's why it's not streaming completely there. But you know what? I had problems with YouTube also. I have, just so you know, there I spent the big bucks and I got an extender there. I'm trying there. I spent my money, so you guys can have an hour of group support. Again, disclaimer time. We are not doctors. I love what you said last week, Nadine. Nor do we play them on TV there. So if you hear anything of value right here, take it, write it down, and take it to your neurologist. Based on the video that we had on Tuesday, we were talking about fatigue and medications for fatigue. And Madra Rule, his name is Red Dog. That's his moniker there, and he's been with me or commenting. He's been a partner of mine. He just cheers me up. I'm delighted by his posts and stuff. He was talking about, he lives in Ireland, and he was talking about having difficulties. Chris is here. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to tell you guys in a minute there. He was talking about having this incredible fatigue and not being able to get the medication he needed. Hi, Tim. You're back. Tim's back. Tim Donaldson. Tim is from Ohio, and it's all right. not being able to get in touch with the neurologist. So it's so awesome if you can get your neurologist's email, especially during this time. Uh, Also, I need to let you know, all you group people, there's 60 people that are consistently watching and reading the live chat. So if you are on Facebook and it's timing out, know that you can go to YouTube channel and at any time and read the brilliant people who are giving suggestions and supporting each other. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So and it's so funny because I've this live group chat, this interaction thing has changed me, has fundamentally. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I've been doing this since March there, and I gotta tell you, I have changed. Look at how the first videos began, and it's changed me. What I'd like you guys to do, Jane, is talk a little bit about how this group has changed you. Jane, why were you up all night? It's my mission. It's my mission with God again, and I've been humbled because I realized, when I started out life, I actually thought I was important. I thought I was important, and now I laugh. I just, I was sitting across the pool with somebody who said to me, don't, I hate people with thin skin. And I think that I've been able to grow in that. I've been able to laugh at myself. I don't take, the more I'm on camera, the less I take myself seriously. The more I can fall in public, the more I can do things without dignity. And a new level of acceptance I have for myself. I'm sorry. Let's see, Jane, you were worrying. Let it go, Jane. Let it go. Let it go. And I know. You know what? There was a brilliant person who once said to me, "How empty of me to be so full of you." Now that goes with what's going on in the world that keeps us up at night. How empty of us to be so full of things that trouble us. Again, what is it? Scripture that talks about God feeding the birds there. The birds don't worry. They don't worry. They just do what's next. Do what's next. They don't worry about where they're getting their breakfast, where they're, oh my gosh, the hails didn't fill up the bird feeder and it's summertime. Again, they don't worry about that. And God gives them their food. God provides that there. So all of us, God will provide for us there. Let me just see here. Oh, you know what, Sherry, you're wonderful, and it's what Sherry on Facebook, what she is saying is that I've inspired her, and I know better. I know better because I haven't inspired you. There, it's again, don't thank me, thank God. There, I've worked on humility. I started off life thinking I was all that, and I went through high school trying to figure out. I knew I was great. I just couldn't figure out why everybody else didn't know how great I was, and now I spent so much time laughing at myself, and I'm told that yeah, they call me Barbie. They call me different things at the pool, and I laugh. I'm like, why would you call me that? And I think it's because on Facebook I have Mattel hired me to be Barbie. I don't know. That's the longer. I laugh there. So you guys know I'm not the source of you feeling good about yourself. God is, and I will tell you that there's 60 of you, and Jane, it's wonderful. Jane Buck, I see it, and Chris, and 60 people who are watching this regularly. There are regulars. If you're not a regular and you want to be a regular and you're not on the list there, all you have to do is on Facebook message me with your name, age, type of MS you have, where you live, and the type of medication you're on there. And Michelle, I don't have information on you. Michael, I do, but no, I don't. I know Mace. I've got some loyal people on Facebook there that I'm trying to get over to YouTube there. You know what? And just reading Nadine. Yeah, Nadine in Bergen County, right? Nadine, are you in Bergen County? Why? I have you in New Jersey, but I don't have your age or the type of medication you're on. What I do is when this is all over, I go back and I review what everybody said. I smile and I pray, but I add facts to the list there. Chris, Chris in Arkansas there, and I've gotten to know you through Facebook there, and your husband there. Let me just see there. Chris, and you're married to Ronnie. I don't have your age, but I know you're on Tasabri there. So, and I don't know. I can guess what type of MS you have. It's my suspicion most of us here have secondary progressive, which secondary progressive is the secondary phase of having a relapsing remitting. 80% of people who are diagnosed with MS have relapsing remitting, and of that, the second part of that is that the longer those nerves are exposed, because MS is about your nerve, the longer. Michelle, you just gave me some facts, and I just saw it there. But anyway, the longer. Hi there, Cindy. You know what? I remember your wedding. I remember my cousin's watching, and I love that. I love that. I was the firstborn of the next generation. These are my dad's cousins, but they were pretty young. He was the firstborn of one of the firstborn in his generation. So I always felt closest to my second cousins there. Love them dearly. They all came to my first wedding there. But anyway, Michelle, thank you for telling me that you have that, and I have absolutely lost my train of thought. And Daniel's here. Yay, Daniel. You're in Pittsburgh, and I don't even have to look at this to know there, and you've had a tough go of this MS. Or I know what I was saying. The second part of MS, there, after you've had it for 10 to 20 years there, that nerve has been exposed because of the damage so much, the little white blood cells that are allergic to, see the insulation on the nerve as a foreign body. So autoimmune disease, and it attacks the wire, the insulation on the wire breaks that. Well, after you've had it for 10 to 20 years, that wire's been exposed so much, it becomes brittle. And now some of the old symptoms that you once had become more pronounced, obvious there. And Daniel, you're one to see, gosh, talking about physical therapy to come back from it. I watched a video about a New York woman. She was trying to steal. She assaulted another woman, and she's trying to take off her shoes. And I said, and people were watching, but nobody was helping. And I said, I'd take my walker. Hi, Dee. Oh my gosh, Dee, you haven't been with us for a long time. There, yeah, because Dee's in South Carolina. There, Dee, it has been ages since you've been here. Well, anyway, I thought, well, I'd take my walker and slam it, and my husband said, yeah, she'd punch you, and I said, punch her back. Of course, what would you? We all know when you've had MS this long there. She'd punch me. I'd go down. I'd probably break something. I'd be like spazzed out there. I'd be locked like Bobby Girl. And I'd say, wait, wait, wait. I'd have to say to this woman who would be beating the crap out of me, I'd say, wait, wait, time out, wait until my spasticity or my baclofen kicks in there, and then I hopefully I'd have a chance with these strong swimming arms. I'd be able to get the shoes away from her and give it back to the woman she was trying to steal it from. But my husband said, no, it's true. I know. We'd all be the champions of victims. It's great. Yeah. But you know what, Daniel, and we're talking about secondary chronic progressive. You've been exposed. Most of us have that. And for those of you who have, Susan, you're back with us. And I just wrote you down, Susan Lloyd. And you're also another Jersey's in the house, right? So what I want to say, so I don't lose my train of thought, which is common, is that if you have relapsing remitting, there is no reason to think that you're going to go into secondary progressive that quicker. They have too many medications out right now that will prevent you from having these attacks, that will expose that nerve, so that nerve is brittle. There now. When I was diagnosed, in '93, the first medication came out, beta seron there, and we all were on a lottery. We had to get on that. Diana was talking about, she was in the lottery too there, and to do anything to keep from the progression of MS there. Now they've got, if you're on Ocrevus, which most of you are, there, Tisabri is a wonderful thing, Chris. You're on Tisabri, and all of these things are fantastic to be on, because that will limit that nerve from being exposed. That's why some of you are anti-medication, and all right, I get that. I understand that. You're natural. Hi, Tim. Tim, you're not on YouTube there, so you can't. Everybody there, Tim Riches is on Facebook there, and I wanted you to know. So I know you, Tim. You're sending your love there. And yeah, it is Tim Riches there. And I made a big time mistake. You're in the UK, so it's afternoon there. You're in the UK, but I don't have the medication you're on, Tim. So if you can do that, one of the things. So if you're not on medication there, the philosophy of that is you're running a risk of, if you have an active disease, it can cause more exacerbation, which you can overcome with the prednisone, but it will cause little nicks in that insulation of the nerve wire that could be expose that nerve where it's brittle. We need to cover our nerves. We need to prevent the disease from happening. Damn, you jumped. Tim, I love you. I love you. All right, he jumped over. Tim jumped from Facebook to YouTube, and I love that. And he just let us know, Detective Farah. How is it working for you? He's on Tecfidera. And again, in fact, let's do a little. Cynthia is talking about baclofen, and baclofen does not make me sleepy either. Used to, I remember taking one baclofen, 10 milligrams, and it made me sleepy. But I can take 80 milligrams now, and if it was possible for me to do a jig, I'd do a jig there. All right, Nadine is talking about, well, and here is another thing to consider. If you do not have an active progressing disease, like mine was really active. I used to have 4 attacks a year, 3, 5. I had so many attacks there. But if you do not have attacks and you have secondary chronic progressive, meaning you've had a few attacks at some point of your life, and now you don't have attacks, there's no need to be on the chemicals. So that there is a reason why some people don't need to take medications. I happen to have a very active, aggressive multiple sclerosis, and I'm on rituximab. Rituxan, and same as Sarah there. And let me see, there's only a couple of us. And Abby, who I haven't seen in ages there, she's on Rituxan too. So there's only a couple of us on Rituxan there. And it's, for me, the reason why I'm on Rituxan is, and that's an infusion there I get once every 6 months there. And what you do is you get CDC 19 and 20 counts to find out. They seem to be the cell cluster that's responsible for attacking your nerves. Anyway, I have very active disease. They want to keep that CD19 and 20 below 1%. If it's above 1%, there you run the risk of, and you have an active disease, you run the risk of having an attack. So again, you know what? Gina's talking. Yeah, Gina, rituximab is pretty much Ocrevus, and what you mean by that is that they're both monoclonal antibodies. They're not. It's not radical chemotherapy. It's a chemotherapy that is specifically geared to kill a cell designation on a white blood cell. It doesn't kill the white blood cell, but each one of these CD tells CD cell just I can't remember, but the CD parts on the cell, the whole thing, they tell the cell what its job to do. And CD19 and 20 are faulty with MS. So again, it's not, you go in and you have that, and you want to kill the CD19 and 20 there. And that's why we get blood tests. The protocol tells these neurologists that we're supposed to get it every 6 months there. And CD19 and 20 are on B cells there. But again, I'm not a doctor. I've done so take anything you hear that you like and bring it to your neurologist. Have your neurologist watch this video there, and they're the experts. I'm not, but I have done enough research. And I interview when I go into the neurology appointment. I do more interviewing for the sake of MS Frontiers medical support for posting things than I do report with my disease. In fact, my neurologist, she lets me go on for about a half an hour at Johns Hopkins, and then she says, "Stop, Dulci. I need to hear about you. Enough with answering questions." You know what? I'm going to try to get her on there. Thank you, Chris. You know what? I, Early on, I used to, I like to research, but I like to tell what I find to people who care. Uh, Nadine, how is baclofen working there for you? All right, and I'm going to go back to the difference between Ocrevus and Rituxan. Rituxan was invented years and years and years ago, and it's used to treat people with lymphoma and leukemia, which has the exact same B cell that's responsible for going crazy in MS. It's autoimmune. Well, in lymphoma and leukemia, it's the same exact B cell that turns cancerous. Or that's Ranger. Hey, Ranger, stop it. All right, he says hi to everyone. Anyway, so it's the same exact B cell there. Well, they found that people with leukemia who happen to have, or lymphoma who happen to have MS, it squelched their disease. So they fell into it. What is so wonderful about that is that they also give it for inflammation for people with arthritis. So there was a track record of safety. People who took rituximab remained in MS remission, but they also Hey, Ranger. Karen says hi. Anyway, he's laying there. I'll have him on camera, like in all my videos. There, you guys are used to seeing. But anyway, this is what I want to. All right, let me go back to the difference. So there was a 16-year safety record with rituximab. They couldn't really go back, and the makers of it, of rituximab, didn't want to get it FDA approved for MS, because everybody knows that, like with Tylenol, which used to be had a name, or Advil, or that kind of things. They used to have names there, and they used to have names, and the patent wore off, and now generics could come in. So the maker Genentech, why would they put the money behind the research to get rituximab FDA approved? That's why it's not approved for MS. What happened is Genentech, I believe Sanofi, and they spent a lot of money taking a monoclonal antibody, and instead of basing it off of mouse models, mouse protein, they based it on human proteins, altering it just a bit, and they got it passed for multiple sclerosis. There now, because it had been FDA approved, it's now the insurance, it's FDA approved for MS, and insurance will pay for it there, and that it's so huge. But the copay of if you're on Medicare, if you're on some insurances will pay for rituximab, but again, the Ocrevus, that's why most of us are on Ocrevus and not on rituximab. Basically because Ocrevus is more covered by insurance, whereas rituximab has not been FDA approved, and most insurances won't pay for things that are not FDA approved, although it does show to be effective. That's why I'm on rituximab there. Also, there was a 16-year safety study, and I have that. If you go to msfrontiers.org, you can join the Facebook group, MS Frontiers Medical Support, and I've got the study published there, and it shows that study of the safety. It was arthritis safety, and that's something, because right now people haven't been on Ocrevus long enough on that time to designate the safety. There was an independent lab that did a study that they found side effects there, and you have to take it with a grain of salt, right? Because what happens? Do you remember when the pink stuff, saccharin? They decided saccharin causes cancer, but they took these cute little mice and they shoved like 100 packets of saccharin in them. Of course, he's gonna have bumps all over him. So I don't know. A grant. Okay, some of the people are chiming in that it's grants there, grants to pay for the Ocrevus, grants to pay for uh, um, different pharmaceuticals there, and so we can get help when we have MS. However, it's got to be FDA approved, and I believe the government does. I don't know. I'm going to talk above my pay grade, which you guys are used to. So I'm going to give you a disclaimer again. I am not a doctor. Nothing I say. I'm not a researcher. I'm nothing. So take everything I say there to your neurologist and talk to your neurologist. Take everything. Don't believe everything I say. Verify it. Verify. I'll give you links and studies, and I invite you to question me. And in fact, I like to be questioned there. Tisabri, I was on Tisabri 8 years, Chris. I love Tisabri. It made me feel great. The problem is that you can't, Tisabri, you can't be on it very long, because the longer you're on it, the more you increase the odds of having a PML. And PML is, because it's such a long fancy word there, it's the infection you get in your brain because it keeps these white blood cells, these B cells, from passing the blood-brain barrier and attacking the nerves in our central nervous system there. And one of the problems is, or the great thing is, that Tisabri is the only medication that was chemically shown to make people feel better. It was 10 to 20%, I think, we felt better. I felt good taking Tisabri, to the point where after 3 weeks, I was trying to get in to get my next fix of Tisabri. It just made me feel more able-bodied there. Okay, so the longer you'd been, I was 7, 8 years. The longer you're on it, the more you increase your odds there. If you have the JCV virus, which neurologists now will send you to get tested, it increases your odds there. A lot of people aren't able to. Oh my goodness! All right, you're Karen. All right, all right. Mic drop. Stop. I have to stop everything and ask Karen about something she just posted there. She said she's positive for PML. What does that mean? All right, Karen, you need to tell us. PML. That's bad. That's bad. That's something they tell us not to. We don't want to be positive for. So what I'm gonna tell you is that all right. That, so while she's typing this there, and the third factor is, if you've ever been on Navantrone, Navantrone was something early on. It was infusion of a little bit more radical chemotherapy that they would give you, could affect your heart, but the side effect is it would stop the secondary chronic progressive. So if you were on Avonex and you were still progressing, what they would do is they put you on Navantrone. So now, So if you have JCV, which I was taking it, and then they invented the test, and they tested me, and they found out that my risk of PML was 1 in 100. There, it's still 99% odds of me not getting PML, and I wanted to stay on it because the risk of me feeling good was so. I'm thinking that, but yeah, but all right, I got a question there. You can't take Karen. Karen responded, she can't take the Sabri, but somebody type in here, isn't PML a risk of Ocrevus? I don't know. I top of the mind awareness there, and it's not floating in my readily accessible files. So is Ocrevus PML? So how do? All right. Let's see. All right, I understand, Karen. That's why you're on Ocrevus. Oh, did you mean that you, Karen, you're positive for JCV virus and not PML? Uh, when it was near to say my body would let me know. And Nadine is talking a little bit about when Sabri was wearing off, she felt it affecting her. She felt better on it there. It's not PML we don't get tested for. PML is the disease that is very much like progressing MS. There, people who end up getting PML, it's like getting having an MS attack like Lou Gehrig's that kills you quick, and it's infection that destroys your central nervous system. There. All right, and then Susan just shared with us that she's on to Sabri, but she's CV negative. And the JCV negative it's a virus that most of us have. We carry around there. I guess it's from eating dirt or I don't know. But anyway, she's on to Sabri, but she's JCV negative. So one of the things that I wanted to think about with you is that did your neurologist tell you, Susan, that your only risk increases the longer you've been on it? There, thank you, Jane, for giving me. Thank you. I got a time check there because you guys know I'm a hot mess and I don't wear watches there. But anyway, let's continue. Amy, all right. Yeah. All right, Amy on Facebook is she's on to Sabri and she's JCV positive from the beginning. And you know what? So what that's telling me, Amy, is that your neurologist is tell me wrong, all right? Tell me your neurologist is just keeping close contact with you. There, I imagine that a neurologist who would put somebody onto Sabri that's JCV positive, which increases your odds of getting the PML, this brain infection. There, if you're on this medication, then your neurologist is paying close attention. Also, PML isn't as scary because there's medication to reverse PML. And Amy talks, that's interesting. You have low titers. That just sounds like Lyme's disease. So they can actually, are you telling us that like Lyme's disease, JCV can be quantified on titers. So you have a low titers, right? So it's a low level of JCV. The virus is low in your body, therefore you're less at risk of having PML. And plus, they have medication to reverse PML if they catch it early on. That is, it's wonderful news for anybody who's watching this and is considering. And she just, thank you, Amy. God bless you, Amy, for helping us all. So if you're considering, Becky, we haven't seen you in a while, and Becky, you're in Maryland as well. And you're on Becky's on Baggio there, and it's so good to see you again. Now, Amy, so if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube there, that is, Amy just taught us that you need to go to your doctor and your neurologist and reconsider to Sabri and find out. She, according to Amy, find out what your JCV teeters are. She's talking about how Amy's talking about how she loves it, and it's given her quality of life back. And I felt the same way when I took it. And you know what? All right, rolling around. Sherry talks about okra. All right. Now, Sherry just reported Ocrevez is not a risk for PML. So so JCV doesn't matter. It does, if you're JCV positive, it doesn't increase your risk. That's reported. Again, disclaimer, none of us are doctors. None of us there. And the advice that you hear here, you bring to your neurologist there. You do not take it as, well, Amy said Sabri works for her, and Dulci said it was the best thing she ever took in her life there. And Karen, let's see, Susie loves it there. So we've got a bunch of people who love it and who are on it there. Chris is on it, and Chris likes it there, and so is Suzanne, although she's not with us there. There's a lot of people who like it there. So how can you take it? How can Tisabri be safe and as an option? Chris is checking out there. All right, where's she going there? I missed. All right, I missed that there. Hi, Shaq, and it is so good, Shaq. You are on the islands there. You're in Trinidad, and it's so good to see that you're joining us. You haven't been with us for a while there, so I must have posted this in a group that you frequent. So if there's, you may want to rewatch this. There's a lot of good stuff here, a lot of education going on. What? Cynthia said bye to Chris. You're Chris, what are you taking off for an infusion? I don't. Suzanne! Suzanne, I was just, your ears must have been ringing there because I was just talking about you. Suzanne joined us. Remember I said Suzanne's not with us and she's on to Sabri? She just reported that she joined us late, and she said, yes, she loves to Sabri. I'm telling you, I've heard a couple people not like to Sabri, but I've heard those of us who like to Sabri loved it. I just, again, 1 in 100. They said your risk of PML is 1%, 1 in 100, and Hopkins wouldn't allow me the risks. Now that was, probably 8 years ago. They wouldn't allow me to assume the risk, although it was my body. I figured, let me take to Sabri if my quality of life is so much better on it. Nadine, you're leaving us. Oh, your groceries. Nadine, stay with us until your groceries are delivered. There, that doorbell will ring there, and you can go. But Amy, You're awesome. If there's any chance that you can send me your name, age, type of MS you have, I know what you are, where you live there. Jump over to YouTube because you have taught us a lot there on the chat area on YouTube. There, it's just it's wonderful. Um, Everybody's saying goodbye to Nadine because Nadine is leaving. Suzanne, I'm thrilled you're with us there. It is, and Becky, I'm also. You know, a lot of people are showing up. Richard is not here because he messaged me that he was going up to Pennsylvania, no, New York to visit his kids there, or his son there. So he's not with us today. So, hi, Richard. We miss you. Um, you know, again, I'm looking down, and Pam's not here there. So Pamo, you know, I'm looking at irregulars there, and Myra. You know, Myra's not here. So just keep in mind, Marcia was here last time. May's there. I just and Kia's mom Polly there. Just awesome. And Jessica's not here, and she's another. Let's see, Jessica, were you from? Are you with us there? I think you are because I think we had a lot of people from Jersey there, and Holly hasn't been with us, and Hillary was from Tasmania, Australia, and it's been a long time. She was with us the first couple times. Karen, thank you for the time check there. That is awesome there. So Raymond also. Q, you guys know him as Q Black Death there, and I remember when he first joined on there. I said, yeah, he is a nice guy with a terrible name, Q Black Death. Anyway, he's not, but that's only because he's from New York. In New York, you know, it's all posture and control. Anyway, we have seen your soft underbelly. Uh, uh, all right, who went off there? You're talking, Sherry. Who went off there? Somebody went off there. Tim Donaldson, Tim Riches. There again. You guys, if there's any way you can jump over, because this chat is huge. Again, Amy, and I just need to thank you for on Facebook for participating there. Anything you typed and you type, it's more easily seen on the live chat on YouTube. That it doesn't say that. Thank you, Sherry, for saying that. All right. I don't know why. All right. Tim's talking about it being back on. He lost chat. All right. I just typed him here, there, and but Karen can't see me either on YouTube. We're having technical difficulties on YouTube there, and let me just see. It's just going fine. There is a chance, and I'll let you know, is that there's somebody who, okay, there's somebody who likes to report that we are infringing on something. We're doing something bad. So there's a chance we got reported as violating YouTube rules. All right. Susan, thank you. All right, YouTube's back and up. There's a chance we were flagged on YouTube. There's a chance. That's all right. YouTube's up and up and running. So the technical difficulties have been resolved. Last time we were reported there, I emailed YouTube and I said, what do you do when there's 60 people who are not giving advice but just talking about what do we do when one person out of 60, because you're not going to make everybody happy, reports you, flags you as being insulted there, and I still haven't heard from them, but they're being a little bit better at all right. Karen says she never lost there, and let's see one here. All right, and the my cell phone says that I've got it's low battery, but that's all right. That's all right there. And Karen just talked about never losing me, never losing the feed. So that's great. Only some people lost the feed, and Susan said she never lost the feed either. Thank you for reporting that, guys. Can't see any reason to report your. You know what? It's I'd be reportable, or this group, MS Live, would be reportable if we claimed to know the solutions for everyone. But remember, disclaimer, the reason why we can't say one medication works for everyone is that you may test positive for JCV, you may have high Richters, you may have an active disease, you may not have a benign disease. There's different medications that anybody can take that could kill them, and you know, aspirin is a high risk. It kills certain people. So we can't recommend one thing. We're not doctors. We don't know each other's chemical makeup. There. Counters being installed there. You know what? Again, my husband is one of these people that he doesn't have a Facebook account. He doesn't like pictures of him. He is a low. He doesn't like to be known there, and he often says to me, you know, you be careful. They're watching you. And I said, you know what? I've had, if you put Dulci Hill in the Google search, I'm all over the place. I am transparent. You know, if you want to know anything about me, ask me. And in fact, if you Google it, it'll probably tell you. I wonder if there's a Wikipedia thing for me. I just don't care. And I'm willing to be out there because I think it helps us all, gives us all the freedom of being able to be human, not normal, because MS, we know it doesn't make us normal there. And I was trying to explain to somebody that a lot of times when you have MS for a very long time, is that you wake up in a bubble, and it's like you're a superhero that's cloaked, and the only person that can see through the cloak, the invisible cloak, are other people with MS. It's like I know. They can see through the cloak, and for a minute, for this hour, the fog is lifted, and we can see each other for what we are, what we have, and it's a beautiful thing. It's no longer is it one person struggling with MS. We're all part of the body, and we all have a reason for being here, and we can live and thrive even though we have this disease there. Hi, Anna Maria. I haven't seen you in a long time there. Uh, uh, but anyway, oh, oh, I'm reading both feeds there. And again, what you count on is that I'm a good host because I ramble. I can actually speak for 1 hour without uh, anybody asking me a question. But you guys do. Thank you. Karen gave me a time check. I've got 5 minutes to make sure there's no dead air. All right, what hasn't worked in a month, Tim? Tim's talking about that. Uh, All right, and Susan talked about Teo Patch. Teo Patches. Uh, uh, I I looked into that there, and so if anybody on Facebook, we're talking about Teo Patches, and if it works for uh, if it works for you. If it works for you, how does it work for you? Um, has it made you better? Remember, everybody who has MS is newly diagnosed for 10 to 20 years, is more likely to publish a book and get famous off of those of us who've had it for 10 to 20 years and don't know how to make gratitude lists. We're too busy counting what sucks in life instead of what's wonderful in life there. Again, so be very careful. I have a video that talks about how people with MS, we tend to be the biggest victims because we put a second mortgage on our house in order to be free of this demon there. Again, I have a rough time being called MS. What do they call a warrior? I'm not a warrior. Warrior is somebody who volunteers to go out and fight. I'm not a warrior. I didn't volunteer for this. I don't want to fight MS there. I'm not a warrior. I'm a victim. I didn't sign up. I'm a victim. I'm a crusader because I have no choice but defend myself from a force outside of me that's trying to take over there. So in a way, I like to think of myself as an MS crusader, not a warrior, because I am not. I am not a warrior. That's right. Yeah. But you know what, Sherry's talking about not choosing this life. They're not choosing MS. The wonderful thing is that, yeah, we didn't choose it, but we can use it to make us stronger in ways. We can use it to what do they say? Sword. What is it? Iron sharpens iron. There. And think about diamonds. There, diamonds are only brilliant because of the pressure that is pushed, the pressure. And it's not that God have. I know you've heard that God doesn't give you any more than you can handle. Well, I believe that's not true. God gives us much more than we can handle, so we need Him. When we recognize that pressure that is on us is insurmountable, we can't overcome it without each other, without God. If you ever notice, you might not feel loved at home by your friends, your family, your spouse, or whatever, but you'll go out to the grocery store and somebody else say something that is so loving, is exactly what you need, because you may not get the food you need where you want it, but you'll get it where God wants it for you. Again, just because we have this horrible horrible disease. Just because we have that doesn't mean we don't have a job to do. There was somebody who was in the locker room at the pool, talked to an older woman. She just diagnosed 3 months ago with MS, a young gal, and I wanted to know about it. What are her symptoms? Where is she? I need to talk to her. Did you give her my card? Did you not my card? Did you give her MS? Because I don't have my name on MS Frontier, but it's she needs to be with us. We need to comfort her. Oh my gosh, doesn't that scare the heck out of you when somebody new's been diagnosed and they just are afraid? It's like they're like little kids. You just want to hug them. You want to say it's this is. Thank you, Karen. All right, Karen just reminded me it's 12 noon, so I got to do my going away spiel until Tuesday. Anyway, I love you all. Go to msfrontiers.org. Look at the resources there for people with MS. There, also if you're on Facebook, go over to the YouTube channel, and if you Google Dulci Hill and you subscribe to my channel, this MS live feed will come to your email there. Anyway, I love you all. Yeah, you're my brothers and sisters, and I am yours. So, you know what? Again, I love you. May the peace which surpasses all understanding keep our hearts and minds on Christ Jesus. Again, we're all made perfect in his image there. And if we feel worthless, it's because we're not trying hard enough to do what he's called us in our broken bodies, what he's called us to do. And by everyone being here and supporting each other there, you guys are you're loving on me and you're loving on each other, and I love on you again. Put your name, message me with your name, put it in the slide chat, your name, age, type of MS you have, medication you're on, and where you live there. And God bless you, and keep coming back. I know you're from, Sherry, you're from, you're another Sharia. Let's see. I know. I'm ending YouTube first there. And more people are popping up, so I know we had